Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right myself. I did a video a day or two ago, a couple of days ago. Um, it was about BOXXER and Ben Shalom signing a deal with NBC Sports over in the US. And this is obviously a good thing for Shalom, and God knows BOXXER need a few shoots of recovery, shall we say, because they haven't been exactly tearing up any trees with Sky. There's been the issue of pulling out of purse bids with Reactport and Fraser Clark. And, as I speak, I mean, this is a day after the announcement that the Dan Aziz Joshua Buatsi fight's been cancelled and the show has been moved from the O2 in London to York Hall, which is a fantastic venue, but it's a downgrade in terms of stature, shall we say. Don't get me wrong, I love the York Hall, been there God knows how many times. Great venue, not a bad seat in the house. But, the show has been downsized. Well, anyway, this NBC deal, it does beg the question, okay, they've got the platform now internationally. BOXXER are branching out internationally. But what product, and I don't like that word, but we'll call it, I'll use it anyway. What product do they have to offer the US market? Because if you go onto BOXXER's website and you look at the fighters they've got, it does beg the question, well, are American audiences going to be interested in fights with these boxers in them? So I thought what I'd do is I'd go through the BOXXER with 2X roster of fighters, and let's see if we can find anyone who is a potential breakout star, not just in Britain but in the US. So they have, I'll go through all the fighters that are listed on their website. They have Ben Whittaker, Olympic silver medalist, light heavyweight. Turned pro, has had a few fights, but seems to be suffering a lot of injuries. They have Adam Azim, super lightweight, very, very talented. I'd say potentially a star. And Whittaker as well. Whittaker, once he gets his skates on and deals with the injuries, he talks well, he's flashy, shows off in the ring, a lot of showboating, turns some people off. As Adam Azim, impressive, but in a far more understated way. Bit no nonsense. I like him a lot. They've got Caroline Dubois, Caris Artinstall, and Lauren Price in the women's game. So, okay, but does women's boxing really attract viewers? I know that when I make videos on women's boxing, they get a lot less views than anything to do with the men. I'm going to continue to make the videos about the women's game because I like the women's game. But it does beg the question, will viewers tune in to watch women fight, especially ones they've not previously heard of? And those are very talented boxers. So it'll take some doing to build them up. You've got Vito Riley at cruiserweight, Fraser Clark at heavyweight. In the case of Fraser Clark, I think his career hasn't been brought on as it might have been, as well as it might have been. There was the issue with pulling out of the British title fight with who was it? Oh Christ, I forgot his bloody name. This is what happens when you get to middle age, you forget the obvious names. You know the guy, it'll come to me in a minute. Then you've got Callum Simpson at super middleweight. You've got Chris Billam-Smith. Now, he can be built up as a local hero, and he has been. He's already he won his world title against Lawrence Okoli, Bournemouth Stadium, football stadium, and they can build on that. Internationally, I think to get any sort of traction with an international audience, he's going to probably need a dance partner. In other words, probably another champion. I don't fancy his chances against Jai Opataya, but his first defence will be against Mateusz Masternak. I think that's a pretty good call. And then, of course, you can't mention Chris Billam-Smith without also mentioning Lawrence Okoli, who is very much out in the cold because he did have a contract for a rematch with Chris Smith that hasn't come to fruition, probably because the first fight was so awful that Sky have said no, we don't want that rematch. We're not interested in it. Also at cruiserweight, you've got Richard Riakporhe, another boxer fighter who's sort of, what's he done lately? Not a great deal. Pulled out of a purse bid with Opataya. So all a bit up in the air. What's his next move? Joshua Buatsi, we know, was due to fight Dan Aziz, excuse me. You've got, going back to the women's game actually, you've got Natasha Jonas, who's held some belts. She's got some belts. She's won a couple at super welterweight and dropped down and beat Candy Wyatt to pick up a belt at welterweight. But she's 39. She's getting on a little bit. Savannah Marshall, okay, undisputed super middleweight champ. A big rivalry with Clarissa Shields. That could sell, certainly. That could be promoted if done right. That could be built up. And also Savannah, I think, has taken out an MMA license of some sort. She wants to do MMA now. Okay, I don't really know anything about that, but you know, in terms of boxing, yeah, she's promotable, very much so. Dan Aziz, we know, is injured, back injury. Liam Smith coming off a knockout defeat to Chris Eubank Jr. Zach Chelli recently defeated, bit of an upset. I can't remember the fighter's name who outpointed him. He's got a couple of losses on his record, and of course, in this day and age, whether we agree with it or not, I don't care about spotless records. But Zach Chelli does have 2 defeats, and that might put the TV executives off. I don't know, maybe not. But he's a charismatic-looking guy, but he's got it to prove in the ring. Definitely, he's got to make a comeback. Florian Marku is marketable because of his, what is he, Serbian or Albanian or something? Albanian, I think. Yeah, you know, I don't know whether it will translate to an American market, but maybe if they soup up the whole, that tribalistic thing, that nationalistic thing that he's got going on. Bit of a cult figure, entertaining to watch. At heavyweight, you've got Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole, good fighter, good heavyweight. Has he proved it at world level? I would say not, but probably a world of top 15 heavyweight. Also at heavyweight, you've got Jamie TKV, who could be a bit of a cult figure, hasn't had many fights, and was last seen getting his face smashed in by some Brazilian, one of the most intimidating looking men I've ever seen. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was he came in with 12 wins and 12 knockouts. Talk about matching poor old Jamie tough. And Jamie didn't look in condition. Jamie didn't look, his conditioning looked terrible. And he got beaten up, and there was an eye injury. I mean, you ain't seen a cut like it. Looked like he'd been glassed with a busted bottle, but it is what it is. I don't see him going beyond domestic level, so couldn't really promote him to the Americans. You got Tyler Denny, Aaron McKenna. Denny is middleweight, actually McKenna is as well. Super welter, you got Shaquille Thompson, Hassim Azim at welterweight. All these people are up and comers. You can't really expect an American audience to go from. At cruiserweight, you got Mikel Lawal, who is fighting Isaac Chamberlain, and at heavyweight, you've got. Oh no, he was really just a cruiserweight. It's Jack Massey, who was last seen getting outpointed by Joseph Parker. Are Lawal and Massey promotable to an American market? Lawal possibly, but I don't think anyone's buying Massey as a heavyweight. You've got Bradley Ray at middleweight, who's recently lost his first fight, lost an unbeaten record, but he ain't a bad fighter, probably not world class. So Chris Congo, decent fighter, European level, I'd say. And then you've got other up-and-comers like Corey Gibbs, Dylan Chima, lightweight. Gibbs is also a lightweight. You've got Reese Edwards at super bantam. Joe Pigford, last seen getting knocked out by Sam Eggington. And you got Scott Forrest at cruiserweight, who's an up-and-comer. So you haven't got that many fighters who are going to appeal to an American market. And it begs the question, what are they going to do with this NBC deal? You know? bad, even if I do say so myself. Yeah, what are they going to do with this NBC deal? How are they going to promote these? Most of the names we've just been through. That's their whole roster. What's the hook on which they're going to hang the appeal for the American market to go? Oh yeah, I'll watch that. No, okay, I've heard it's kind of free boxing. You know, it's not like on pay-per-view or anything like that. It might be a standard subscription channel. I don't know. You tell me if you know about these things. NBC Sports, what is it? But yeah, I think the jury is out, to put it mildly. And certainly if DAZN's performance is anything to go by, as far as their Sky contract is concerned, they're going to have to up their game, because the Americans are probably business-wise tougher. They want results quicker. They want results like now or maybe yesterday. Whereas the Sky thing was more of a long-term proposition, a rebuilding process after Matchroom left. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen. What do you think? Those fighters that I just went through, how many of them really interest you? How many of them would you stop and say, oh yeah, I'll watch that? I'm not talking about them being world level, because most of them aren't. But sometimes you can have, obviously it's down to matchups. Everyone needs a dance partner. But you've got to think, well, how many of them really attract you? Like you think, okay, yeah, he's an exciting fighter, or she's an exciting fighter, I'll watch them. Leave your comments below. Do you think this NBC thing with Shalom and BOXXER is going to work? Maybe some of these fighters will be matched with Americans. That would be an interesting idea. Mix and match, American fighters. So yeah, have a think. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you think this contract should go along. And yeah, I'll answer your questions or read your comments certainly and comment back. As always, thank you for your time, and please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, and I'll catch you later. I'll hit the like button as well, a little thumbs up thing. Give it a little poke. Cheers. Catch you later. Bye for now.